This episode of the We Know Lanark County podcast is brought to you by the Laura Keller Real Estate Team. Visit laurakeller.ca for all of your Lanark County real estate needs. Now here's your host, Laura Keller.
Hey, it's Laura Keller here with the We Know Lanark County podcast, and I'm here with Anastacia from Rosetta Hills Alpaca Farm. How are you this morning?
Good, how are you?
Good. So, how old are you, Anastacia?
I'm 18.
18. So, are you pretty well running this business by yourself, or what's the deal here?
Well, I am pretty much in charge of our social media and online presence and events.
Okay.
And then I have my parents helping me a lot.
Okay, great. So, tell me a little bit about how your family came to own Rosetta Hills. How did that happen?
It kind of started as a joke. Just one day, my mom and her partner were like, "Do you like this house?" And it was a hobby farm to begin with. And I'm like, "Yeah, it's amazing." So we ended up moving here. And then one day they said, "Come on, hop in the car. We're going to go see an alpaca farm." And we just fell in love with them.
No
and
way.
then there's one alpaca farm that I fell in love with one of the baby alpacas. And I insisted, it's like, if we're getting alpacas, I need him. So we ended up getting him and his mother, and then there's another baby girl, and we got her mother, and that's just how we started out.
And then it snowballed from there.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a joke originally. This is definitely never imagined that we would be here, but it's right. Amazing.
And this is just within the last year, right?
Yep, we moved here in August.
In the middle of a pandemic, yeah. And you started a business.
Yeah, it's been crazy, but I love it. And you know what? This pandemic kind of worked because I didn't go to school this year because I was supposed to move to Ottawa, and I was able to start up the events, and yeah.
Right. So what does Rosetta Hills mean? Did you come up with that name, or was it that name when you bought it?
We kind of, so we live in Rosetta Road. So it kind of started from there. And then we were thinking like our property is really like, has a lot of hills and it's up and down. So we just kind of put it together. And
that's great. I love the name.
That's how we decided.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Like, tell me a little bit about the farm. Like what is it? I've been there, but what does it look like? I only saw the barn areas. We didn't go for hikes or anything, but what is it? How many acres is it, and what's on it?
So it's 103 acres, and it's really a combination. There's a lot of fields and there's a lot of hills, and then we have some forest areas. So it's a combination of everything. Then we also have was it a river there that we have an entrance to, and then we also have a little pond on our property that we just installed a fountain. So we're trying to get it cleaned up now. And over it, so we're excited.
That's so cool. So 103 acres. Yeah. How much of the farm are you using for the business, really?
Right now, it's kind of that main front area. We have our two barns, but slowly we want to expand. There's talk about figuring out another pond for ducks, maybe. Nice. Yeah, just slowly expanding. Right now, we are really concentrated around the house.
Right.
That area.
Yeah, it's such a cool spot. So you mentioned that your family just went to an alpaca farm on a whim, and you fell in love. What's it about an alpaca that made you guys fall in love with them?
Well, my mom jokes, it's like, it's the only animal that poops in one spot because they all go to they choose one bathroom pile and they will all go there. So it's kind of like the more dominant one will choose first and then they'll all go there. So it's very easy cleanup.
Oh, that's so
it's
funny.
Really nice. They are low maintenance. So it works with busy schedules because my mom and her partner are still working full time. Mm-hmm. And they're cute, they're fluffy, they are really amazing animals, and they all have their personality. And it's just the one that I fell in love with, when we first came to see him, he was born a few days before we came to see him. And usually the babies are really shy and won't go to you. But this one would sit down and let you sit down with him, and he would lean up against you and let you pet him. So I'm like, I need him. And he has grown up to be the most friendliest here.
What's his name?
Nick.
Nick. Okay. Yeah, it really is true that they have their own personalities, because when we were there a couple of months ago, there were some that were like very excited to meet you and meet the kids, and then there were some that didn't want anything to do with us. So it's just such a funny, they're just like people, right? They all have their own way of doing things.
Yeah, and it's funny, the ones that we got first, it's like the Nick and then his mother, they're really social. Okay. And then the other is Helena and Hanara. And Hanara took her mother's personality, that they're very shy and they will not go to you except for food.
Right.
If you have food, it's okay.
What is an alpaca for people who don't know or who can't picture it in their head?
So they are similar to llamas. They are from the same family, but they're smaller and they have a smaller build. And also llamas are known to be more aggressive. So they actually, some farms have them for protecting their alpacas. Oh, and no way. Alpacas are, and alpacas are more friendlier. And they do spit, but not as much as llamas. So they will only spit if you really have to bother them. Ours mainly spit at each other and maybe sometimes their dogs when they don't want them near them. And then they're very fluffy, but then their summer coat, they are shaved almost completely, so they look completely opposite. Looking back, we just got ours recently shaved, and looking back, it looks hilarious trying to compare the two.
Do you use the wool for anything, or what's the plan for that?
So this time we sold it raw, so we don't have much plans with the wool. We're thinking of just selling it raw, but we do have alpaca wool products that we ship in from Latvia. So they were handmade. So we're going to continue just shipping the products in.
Okay. So you bring products in and you sell them to people?
Yep. Wow. Yeah. So currently we have hats and mitts and hats and mitts and socks.
I've heard they're I've heard they're really, really, really warm, like sheep's wool. Is that true, or is it a different type of warmth?
So it's one of the best wools you can get. They're one of the top quality, and yes, they are very warm, and they're also hypoallergenic.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I know every time I see alpaca products in boutique stores, they're always very high priced. So I would assume that it's a really good quality and they last a while.
Yeah, and then baby alpaca wool. The first time they're sheared, that's one of the most.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Because it's extra
even
soft?
When you yeah, it's very soft. So even when you pet them, you can tell the difference. And also, well, they're okay in the winter to be outside, so you can imagine how warm it's on them. Right. That's why they have to be sheared every summer, because they can overheat and get really stressed, and then it can make them very sick. So
do you imagine, do you guys shear them yourselves, or do you bring somebody in to do that for you?
So this time, actually, the farm that we first got our first alpacas from have been amazing. They have been helping us this first year with all of our firsts. So they actually came and helped us shear all our alpacas. So it's really nice. We were really thankful for that.
So they taught you how to do it, so next year you'll be able to do it yourself?
We don't think we will be able to. Yeah, none of us are really that comfortable with it, so we think we're just going to be hiring. So pretty much the goal is to sell the wool and pay the cost of the shearing.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That works out.
Mm-hmm. The Laura Keller Real Estate Team is your Lanark County expert. If you are interested in making a move, Talk to our team today about real estate in Carleton Place, Perth, Almont, or anywhere else in the Lanark County or Ottawa area. Visit laurakeller.ca for more information.
What else is on the farm other than just the alpacas? Because I know you have a few other animals.
So right now we have chickens and guinea fowls and turkeys. And actually next week on Saturday, we're getting miniature goats. So we're getting dwarf Nigerian goats.
No way.
So we're very excited for that.
Oh my gosh. How many?
So right now we were able to have 2 baby boys and we're looking for girls now. But it's a little bit harder to find girls right now. So
Is it? Why is that?
yeah, so we're sending out the boys. Probably just demand.
Right.
I'm not sure. We're able to find the boys, but can't find anyone that's selling girls. And also we have to be careful about the herd and they have to be up to standards and everything.
Right.
So
what's the plan for the goats then? Is it just more fun things to play with, or?
Yeah, cuteness. Well, I want to use their milk to try to make soap actually. So once we get our girls.
Nice. What about goat yoga? Have you done that before?
No, I personally haven't. We've thought about that. We weren't too sure. We are thinking of different things to do now, maybe during the week now, because our weekends are crazy booked and then we have a lot of spots during the week. So
right.
Yeah.
You could do like corporate team building activities or something.
Definitely.
So with all of the animals that you have, what are the things that would bring people to the farm? I know you do birthday parties because that's what brought me to you. Tell me about the birthday parties.
So we do 2 kind of parties. We do kids parties and we do adult parties. And we also do farm visits right now.
Okay.
So for the birthday parties, for kids ones, the kids get to interact with the alpacas, and then the alpacas will actually eat out of people's hands. So we give them all a chance. We'll take them in small groups just not to overwhelm the alpacas, and they're able to hand feed them. And then while the others play, we have some alpaca themed crafts, or the parents can choose either crafts or sports. And then we also do provide cake at the end of the party. And then depending on the weather, we could also do a bonfire if it's cold. And and so for
it's so much fun. I know the kids loved seeing the animals because for us they were so little. A couple of them were really little. So they were kind of on each other's level. It was really nice to see. And the sounds they make are so funny.
Yeah.
How do you describe what an alpaca sounds like? The noises that they make?
I want to say it's kind of like a moaning sound, but they're okay. That's just how they talk. So we've had a lot of concerns. It's like, are they okay? Are we bothering them? It's like, no, that's how they talk. One of ours will just talk all day if he could. So whenever we're there, he's just talking to us, but he won't let us near him. He's actually pretty shy.
Right.
And then when they're threatened or scared, they will actually scream. So you clearly know if something's not right. One of our alpacas started screaming at our birds.
Oh no.
So it's funny, our birds are just walking by and she just suddenly screams. And we're scared something's really wrong. But then we just see she's looking at the birds. Like,
oh my gosh. So you have the birthday parties where the kids get to play with the alpacas and run around the field and have the bonfire, which is so fun. What's the farm visit like? What does that look like?
So everyone we meet all of our alpacas. So our alpacas are kind of divided into 3. So we have the girls, and then we have the younger boys and the older boys. Just the boys have to be separated, the different ages, just the bigger boys and the younger boys, they like to play a lot. So we don't want them getting hurt. So we take to each group. So right now we're starting off with the girls. And so the girls, like the food the most, so they're more drawn to it. So people can actually feed them out of their hand and they're very happy. And one of ours loves it so much that she'll push all the others out of the way to get the food. And then we go over to our other barn where our boys are. And our younger boys will run usually right up to everybody. And our older boys are a little bit shy. So still trying to get them on a halter. I got one of them on a halter, but the other one just will not let me. And then maybe if weather allows and the alpacas are willing to, we'll take them for a little walk.
That's so nice. And how long are the farm visits usually?
About an hour.
An hour. Oh, that's so nice. And right now with COVID, you're doing groups of 5. Is that right?
Yeah. So I think, or if it's a family, then is it the same household, then it's no worries. But
Okay.
if it's different households, currently we have to keep it to 5.
Okay. How has COVID impacted the business? Obviously, that's when you started it, so you don't have anything to compare it to. But what you mentioned that being home from university has helped you have extra time to work on the business. But what else have you seen impacting positively or negatively on the business?
Well, the lockdowns, definitely. We're very happy that we can finally open, but there was a long period where we couldn't have anybody here. But it kind of worked out because we got our barn renovated because half of it was falling down. So now we have a whole new barn to host events in. So we're very excited to open that. It's just getting finished up now. I think maybe because we are one of the businesses open, kind of. So it's like only outside events can open. I think that's kind of helped us because it got our word out quicker because there's less stuff to do.
Yeah.
So I think that really helps spread the word. And people on social media are amazing, and sharing our posts on Facebook has helped us a lot.
Yeah. I mean, people definitely know about you, and you, like you said, you haven't been open that long, so you must be doing something right with the social media. What are you going to university for?
So I'm going for interactive multimedia and design. So it's game design and animation and special effects and graphic design.
Are you going to bring any of that into Rosetta Hills, or are you keeping those two things separate?
So now I'm in the process of making products. So I'm making stickers and mugs. I'm really into graphic design. So I really like website design and everything. So I have been slowly working on our website. So yeah, I kind of get to test my skills kind of on the business.
Yeah,
so
you're getting some real world experience by doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So part of that is video game. Is that what you said, that your video game design?
Yeah, so that's not what I originally went for. I originally went for media production and design, but then I kind of really loved video game and animation. I had a class of just like small, sorry, our dog saw something. I had a small like introduction on it, and I just loved it, so I switched programs for next year.
Oh no way, that's so great. Are you gonna make an alpaca video game?
Maybe. We're actually my boyfriend and I are talking about designing a video game because he's doing computer science and he wants to specialize in game design. So it's like he's kind of doing the back end of video game design, and I'm learning to do the front end.
How cool is that? So what are the plans for the future of Rosetta Hills? What do you have cooking up in your heads?
Well, the goats, especially right now, is our main focus. We're really excited for those. And with the big barn done and renovated and everything, we're thinking maybe hosting weddings in a year or 2.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility. And the animals kind of have been some things like, oh, this is cute, maybe get that. And we just start looking and eventually it happens. So yeah, it's always been a joke about ostriches. So I don't know if that's gonna actually happen or not, but that's kind of a joke when we started out, that we should just get a farm and have ostrich. But maybe emus. We were actually looking at emus.
No way. Well, that would be such a cool thing to come and see. What was it? Oh man, sorry. The wedding venue idea, like what would that look like? Do you have a plan for timing, or I know small weddings are a big thing right now, so.
So it's kind of in the making. So part of the renovation, so we had this big barn and it's kind of split into two. So the smaller half was falling down. So that was completely taken down and rebuilt. And it has like an upstairs floor now. Sorry, the dogs. And then attached to that barn is a whole bigger barn, and it's a complete open area with like one side completely open. So we can we're thinking of hosting the weddings there. And then it has, when you go out, it has an outlook on our pond. And when we have the lights up, and now we have the fountain there.
That's a beautiful view for sure. Well, that pretty well wraps up our chat today. I just do have one more question for you that I'm asking all of our guests on the show, and it is, what is your favorite hidden gem of Lanark County?
That's a hard one.
Whether it's a store or a restaurant or a trail somewhere.
Unfortunately, we really haven't been out with this pandemic. So we recently moved to Lanark County. So we weren't in Lanark County before. So I don't think I've loved this farm much since we moved here.
So Rosetta Hills is the favorite hidden gem of Lanark County. So everybody should go there.
The people are amazing. Yeah. Everyone has been so helpful and so supportive too.
Good. Well, it's been so nice chatting with you today, Anastacia, and I can't wait to see what the future brings for Rosetta Hills.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye.